Welcome to the museum at Lord's, MCC's own museum. It was opened in 1953.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was referred to as the Memorial Gallery, which of course was dedicated to the fallen in both wars.
Yeah.
It was originally a rackets court, which is a game that's played by like a golf ball against a wall, rather like squash. But it's all been redecorated. It was redecorated 2 years ago for the bicentenary, and lots of the artefacts have been here for some time. Young Rupert here has been with us for some time. He was 7 when he sadly died.
Okay.
And his father had that statue made for him. One of the most important features, especially for our Asian visitors, is the World Cup, which is over here, which is the one that Capital Dev lifted.
Yep.
And to say the least, India were underdogs, and this of course put them firmly on the map. The Prudential World Cup stays here because Prudential ceased to sponsor it, but there are 2 replicas.
Okay.
One is in India and one is in the West Indies. Because had the West Indies won, and they were hot favourites, they'd have won it 3 times, so they most probably would have kept it.
Yeah.
The story goes that Capital Dev was so surprised at winning it that he went to the West Indies dressing room to ask them, could he have some of their champagne? Because they hadn't bought any, which is quite funny.
This is a new thing for our audience.
So there's a great picture of the great man.
Yeah.
It's taken here and featured in a magazine called Vanity Fair.
Yes.
Sadly, never scored a century at Lord's.
Yeah.
Which of course, he's not the only one. I was told that he found it very difficult to pick the ball up when it was being bowled from the pavilion. And
Yes.
pretty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's all. I mean, other than that, the great, and because he doesn't live very far away, he has a house overlooking the park.
Yeah.
So we see him quite a lot in here. Now, if we want to wander upstairs, the most historic artefact that we keep here, which has travelled twice to Australia,
Okay.
is the Ashes at home.
Yeah.
Now, it won't travel again because it's too fragile, which is just here. We took it across 2006, 7. We were hoping for about 40,000 people to see it, and we ended up showing it to 110,000 people.
Okay.
So that was great. We were really, really pleased with it. But it sits here. It's been here since 1927. And the Australians, at the moment, hold the Ashes.
Yeah.
But it's not ours, because it was given to us to be kept for safekeeping, which is what we do. It's porcelain, and it's very, very fragile. And as you can see from the piece of paper stuck on the front, that was torn out of a copy of the Melbourne Punch, and it talks about some of the players, but it's already fading. There's nothing we can do about it. We can't doctor it because then it ceases to be an original. And that's the bag she made for him, which...
So that's the original bag
that's
made.
the original bag, the original urn. And what these are artefacts that were used by the first Australian touring side, who of course were Aborigines. They came over in the 80s, and they were very, very popular, And they used to entertain people during the breaking innings by throwing the boomerangs and jumping over obstacles and all sorts, and they were very, very popular.
And how competitive were they, the first Australian team?
They came over, and there were 12 of them in the whole party, players, and sadly one of their parents died. So he had to go back. So they ended up playing with 11 players only, and played a lot more than they thought they were going to play. So they were very, very popular.
Very, very popular. And I have been told that here in the Don Bradman's memorabilia is also kept.
People often ask about Bradman's memorabilia, and sadly he has a museum of his own, Barrel, in Australia. So we have got, I think we've got one of his boots and a tie, but that's about it. But he has all his own memorabilia. We recently had an exhibition of all Brian Lara's artefacts, but we were told that Brian Lara is one of the few cricketers that kept everything, because people were going to try and get an exhibition for Tendulkar, because we thought it was going to be his last Test match.
Yes.
But when I spoke to the organiser, she said, "They got hardly anything. Give it all away to charity." So he doesn't keep an awful lot.
Okay, and if we can go to this part.
This is because obviously, as you know, India are touring, and it's the first Test at Lord's starting on Thursday. And this is some of the shirts we have, and that one there, which always gets is the Ganguly shirt that you waved above his head.
That's the Nagaveth shirt.
Yeah.
So we want our viewers to take a closer look at this.
That's where he was flying his match feet.
Yes, that's the most, probably in this century, the most memorable moment in Indian cricket, apart from the World Cup victory.
Yeah, I think the World Cup victory. Yeah.
And there are this is the Tendulkar jersey.
Yeah, this is the one day, and all the rest of it are just memorabilia, shirts.
And this is the Pataudi trophy.
That's the Pataudi trophy.
And since Ganguly is a member of MCC also, so has he given all his stuff to
No, we just had that one shirt, I think, with Ganguly, and very, very little of Tendulkar's. Although Tendulkar is a member, he is an MCC member.
So is Ganguly.
Yes, what they do, they tend to give some of the leading cricketers honorary membership. Okay. He was one of the last, actually, Tendulkar, because he's obviously now retired. Warren is a member.
Yep.
This is one of the early helmets that Gavaskar wore as a protector. Now they all wear them, but of course lots of them took their own time to do it. And of course Viv Richards never wore one. Never wore a helmet all through his career.
Yeah. And what do you think personally? Helmets should have been there when Gavaskar started wearing it?
Boycott makes a valid point. He says that it does impair their vision. So there's an argument that says, but then again, if you're facing Dennis Lilly without a helmet, I think I'd rather have the helmet.
And these are some of the stuff.
Yeah, this is an exhibition really about ladies cricket.
Okay.
Because ladies cricket is becoming more and more popular.
Yeah.
And here, last year, England ladies played India ladies. And they were the first time they've played in the main square, and we filled the place, 29,000 people.
Wow.
Very, very exciting game, which India really were in the driving seat to win. And then the English bowling, they took 6 wickets, and that was it, and we won it. It was a wonderful game, televised as well.
Really, and disappointed that not enough MCC member turned out for that game?
Yes, there was a bit of a controversy there with the
Members Pavilion.
Yeah, because that's members only.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think it was still a marvellous advertisement for England ladies cricket.
Yes. So as we can see, our viewers, that there are stuff from different era of women's cricket have been kept in this world famous museum.
Yeah, and these change every year.
Okay.
Because next year, obviously, we have Ireland and Australia coming over.
Yeah.
So these exhibitions will change.
Okay, so now Ireland will be playing a 4-day Test match in Lord's.
Ireland are playing the first Test match, which will be in May, and then Australia will be over in July, August, the same as India are at the moment. So a lot of these you'll notice they toured as the MCC and not England. If we go downstairs as you go out, you'll see a blazer, which is an England blazer, and the piping on the edges of the blazer are the MCC colours. This is where the rules were, and still are.
Still are, yes. Yeah, so these are the...
So So that one there, this one here, is the Isingari,
Okay.
which is the travelling team,
Yeah.
which don't have they're a wandering team really.
Okay.
Very, very select.
Okay. And if we can move that side, I guess that is the model of the new lords that is coming up.
Right.
So can you please talk about it?
This is the old one, isn't it? 2013. That's just a model. So it doesn't show the new. That will be in downstairs the day after tomorrow, the first day of the test match.
Okay.
Which you'll be seeing what the plans are for the Edrich and the Compton stand, which are being refurbished and redone.
Yeah. So the Warner stand is still there in this new model.
Yeah, well, the Warner stand, that's the new Warner stand there.
Yeah.
Because obviously what they do, the architect built.
And there is Mr.
And that's the stand it's named after, as I say, Pelham Warner.
Pelham Warner.
Yeah.
The
So when you come to England, you must come to Lord's
Yeah.
and see all the memorabilia.
To relive the history.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. The
And-
iconic Lords.
And with this, I would like to thank the MCC for giving me the permission to shoot, and I would like to thank. So I would like to thank our two manager for this, Mr. Chim, and wish you all the best in your future endeavor.
Thank you very much.